Uh, not
Yep,
him.
we're live.
Are we? Good. All right. Well, welcome to everybody that's joined so
Hit the
far this
record.
morning.
Hit the
Oh,
record, brother.
hit the record,
Don't
hit the
forget that
record.
one. Pulling the
Let the record
levers,
button go.
poking the buttons.
All right, we are
Okay.
go. So welcome to you all. My name's Tony Fanfuller. With me is Chris Jansen, country leader of EXP Realty. We are both transactional agents out there on Saturday doing open for inspections, going to appraisals and all the rest of it, just the same
Mm.
as you guys are. So I've lived this life for 28 years and have nearly seen everything, but every week I realise I haven't. So we're trying to share with these sessions just some valuable content that every agent can take away and apply, or get as knowledge certainly, so that you may well improve one area of your business. Our goal is for every agent to better themselves as best possible in your marketplaces. And if you do have questions about EXP, you can contact us anytime. We're just touching on GrowCon event, which I will talk about briefly. We are about to launch into and I'll share my screen very quickly, and we won't dwell on this too much, but we are about to launch into 5 Wednesdays in a row of conferences, and you can see the dates on screen there, hopefully.
Yeah, mate.
So Melbourne, Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane, Sydney. You can see that, Chris?
Yep, sure can, buddy.
Good. So you will be able to attend those events. Brisbane and Perth, I think, pretty much booked out. If you're in those areas, do check. Sydney, I think, pushing it. Melbourne next week has some space, as does Adelaide. So we hope to have some enormous, valuable content for you to gather when you're there and take away and apply in your businesses. So, our goal is to just share with everyone as much of the real estate improvement we possibly can and help you all in your businesses. So, Chris, over to you for where we're heading today, and I'll chime in where I may or may not be able to add anything of value.
Well, you letterbox drop, mate. So there's
I do.
probably some synergies you could tap in and add here, mate. Most certainly after 28 youthful years in the industry. Wouldn't tell it, mate. You're still looking young and vibrant, which is great. The
I'm
industry
only,
can take its toll, but
yeah, I'm
it's
only, what I'm at 28 years. Shit, that makes me what I must be. What's 28 plus 18?
48.
Jeez, it's giving away my age, aren't I? No, I'm pushing 60. So, and still loving real estate. So, but it's a matter of, doing it in your own way as you go through your careers.
Yeah. Yeah. So, folks, yeah, GrowCon event. So Business by Design will be placed on hold for the next 2 fortnightly sessions because we will be traveling Australia, attending the 5 capital cities. We would love to see you there. It doesn't matter what brand network you come from. This is open to all industry agents, and a lot of this stuff that we share and collaborate on as fellow industry agents. As Tony said, I got a video of a property listing today. I've got open inspections on the weekend. I've got appraisals tomorrow. A lot of the stuff we share on these sessions. That's what the whole, I guess, basis of GrowCon was created for, is collaboration openly among all industry agents. So if you can get there, I'd love to catch up, see you, meet you in person. I'm looking forward to the event, Tony, because there's always great takeaways. When we come back, though, folks, we're going to be launching similar to Business by Design. It will continue on, but we're going to have more agent-led training. So not just hearing from Tony and I, hearing from other fellow industry agents within our model network, helping you collaborate with you to co-host some of this training moving forward. And there's nothing better, Tony, I find, than hearing from the agents that are actually on the ground doing the work themselves as well. So so we've done a lot of digital, social, AI, meta ads, Gamma app of the like, a lot of techie stuff. Today I'm just going to strip it right back and go back to the basics of the old pounding the pavement, dropping information in letterboxes, right? And I think, I get asked this question, Tony, quite often is, should I focus on meta ads? Should I focus on Gamma? What sort of lead gen should I focus on? Should I do letterbox dropping? Well, you need to do a bit of everything,
The
really, in
answer is, well, I
today's
was about to say the answer is
fast-paced
yes to
world.
all of that. The answer is yes
Yeah,
to every question,
yeah,
because different things will work at different times in different markets, and it if someone picks something out of the letterbox, and I do, Sam and I were out doing DL droppers last week. Now, if they pick it up and the next thing they do is drop it in the bin, there's one little tiny subliminal thing that's happened. And there's been a logo or a picture of you, and hopefully you've got big pictures of you on anything you drop. It's that little tiny deposit in the emotional bank account. As an old mentor of mine used to say, we're making deposits in the emotional bank account, and it's many of those deposits that add up to the phone call when they need an agent. And that's what this is all about. And there's a lot of things to do, but there's a lot of very great tech that Chris mentioned that can be combined with this.
Yeah, 100%. So reputation is key in everything that we do prospecting initiative wise, right? So I've been in the industry 16 years, folks. Do I letterbox drop to this core area of mine known as Burton every month religiously? Absolutely. So this is a session today that's going to help dovetail all the digital stuff that we've created in previous sessions of how you can actually replicate it and put it into printable versions, stuff like this, and then get it into letterbox drops. So not only are people seeing you on meta ads, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Google, YouTube of the likes, you're retargeting them. That's what we went through in previous sessions. But now when they go out to their letterbox drops to get the pesky bills every week that come in, they can see this as well. And a lot of the stuff that I'm going to share with you in this today is what I've replicated in previous sessions with digital publications, AI such as Gamma app of the likes and so forth. So again, cross-pollination. You don't need to reinvent the wheel and have a different letterbox drop to your messaging on social. My messaging is very much the same. If I'm running a digital social ad campaign and retargeting people, what they're getting in their letterboxes in that area is the same messaging, right? Consistent and flow. So Tony, probably one of the things I get often for those that aren't running a core farm BDA area is where do I start? So I'm going to start with the very basics, okay? Now, last year alone, Burton, my suburb of preference and choice for 10 years now, wrote me $119,000 in GCI, okay? That was across 12 sales. So, the GCI, if you get it right, you can generate 6 figures comfortably from a core farm area. It's done that pretty much consistently for me for the last 10 years. I will jag a sale or two out of this suburb each and every month, right? Now, the advantage of really, I guess, dominating a postcode is it's almost, once you get it right, it's an autopilot thing, right? Now, in saying that, for me to get up and running, it was about 15 to 18 months of repetition in that area before I got a return. So be prepared to spend and invest money with no return for the first year and a half to 2 years, okay? But you just got to think, the initiative, if you get one listing.
I had a chat with an agent this week, and this whole session and everything we talked about is getting leads. But I had a chat with an agent this week, and she's moved to a new area, a new state, and she wants to get leads. And I said to her, and I've moved around a little bit in my career, and I know even as an experienced agent, it's 18 months to 2 years to get traction. You'll write deals in that time. You're not waiting 18 months for your first deal. You'll write deals in that time, but that's how long it takes until you start to build a network and start to build a database from the droppers that Chris is talking about, meta ads, etc. I think some of these things that we've talked about over the last few months probably going to increase the pace of that if you do it well. So, I know that Sam and I have really been hitting our area now for a bit over 2 months with a lot of different things, and we've probably accelerated that pace due to a lot of video content, different things, but we are getting the comments now of you're just everywhere. And that's what we're trying to create, and that's what this is about. Everywhere we look, you're there. And we know is it smoke and mirrors? Probably. We certainly don't have the most listings or the most, sales or anything compared to our competitors, but we're there more than they are. And that's what this is all about creating. So.
Spot on, mate. When I started this 10 plus years ago, there wasn't social media, right? So, I couldn't have social ads running, complementing letterbox dropping. So I was doing a monthly community report. I was doing 200 around just listed of every listing in the area, 200 of just sold around every sold in the area. I was doing welcome to the area packs, whether they bought and settled the home through me or not. There was a lot of stuff that I had to do outside of social media. But yeah, you can accelerate that with this. So, but what I want to talk about is, where do you get started with a postcode farm BDA area, whatever you want to call it, right? Firstly, look for an area that has turnover, number one. Okay. So my area, I'm quite fortunate in that it has 100 to 110 sales annually each and every year. So that's good turnover, Tony. If I could get 10% market share, there's 10 sales a year, 10 sales a year, 100,000 GCI. If we're just going off 10 grand comms, just forget about medium house price in the area. There's 100 grand that you can tap into your area each and every year. So number one, look for an area that has consistent turnover. Okay. Number two, look for an area that you don't have to go too far and wide. I see it too often, Tony. Agents want to claim territory because of many traditional models. It's about you own this overarching territory or franchise geographical area. The bigger we extend our borders, the more we own. The problem with that, though, is consistency and reputation is key in a BDA and farm area. The more you're seen, the more you become recognized. And you almost want to become a superstar celebrity. Like in my area, my wife won't come to the Woolworths shopping center with me because every time I go in there to grab something, it's, Chris, what did that one sell for? How's the market going? Like people know me. So it creates conversations, which is what you want as a local agent, not when you're shopping with your wife. But what I'm saying is
my kids won't walk next to me on the street.
yeah, good problem to have, right?
Even where they've grown up now, but it always used to be that, we can't go anywhere with you. You just know everybody. And that's what you're trying to create in your marketplace, that you do know everybody. And if you get to that stage, you've done something right.
Yeah, 100%, mate. So don't go too far and wide. So I see some agents get it wrong and they like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 homes, right? The science in the people that are dominating core farm areas and have for decades now, Matt Steinwade's of the likes, you've got Josh Teslon more recently from Quakers Hill, they're sticking to around 1,500 homes in a core area that they're just mass marketing in repetition to weekly and monthly, okay? So 1,000 to 1,500 homes is ideal. If you take on more than that, good luck trying to service it because it is incredibly hard and it'll become more costly. So once we've determined an area that's got the turnover, we've determined an area that's got 1,000 to 1,500 homes. Thirdly, is look at what the agents are doing in that area. Now, most suburbs, when you look at it, you'll get the odd occasional suburb where an agent does dominate, but most suburbs in my historical search, an agent will do 2 or 3 transactions at best on an annualized basis. And in most suburbs, agents will vary somewhere between 5 and 12% in market share. So if you identify a suburb that's got good turnover, has about 1,000 to 1,500 homes, and the highest selling agent in there has a market share of somewhere between 5 and let's call it 15%, that's a great opportunity. That is a suburb I would take on because when you get this right, there's an opportunity for you to create somewhere between 30 and 50% market share consistently year after year. Okay. So they're my three tips in locating your geographical area. Now then obviously, well, how do we service it, right? So what I did is I went and built a relationship with a printer, which I'm sure many of us have. The more business you give them on a consistent basis, the better the rate is going to be for you, right? So go negotiate with a printer. This is what I need on a monthly basis. So what I've done, folks, is I'm going to share with you and I'm going to drop all the templates we're sharing on this session today on our eXp Realty Australia Facebook page. I'll drop the Canva link on there. So you can go to our Facebook page at the end of this session to grab all these templates. I use an A3 200 GSM, high quality, colored brochure. The reason I use A3, Tony, I've dropped in many letterbox drops, that goes straight in that slit irrespective of the size of the hole in the letterbox, whether it's a small one, the big one, because I've used A4 and you got to fold it and it's like, jam it in there. This just slots straight in there.
Sorry to interrupt, Chris, just on that size. So you're talking about a DL size.
This is A3
Folded
trifold.
A4.
Well, it's a little bit smaller, slightly smaller.
Okay, I just want to be for everyone listening because
I'll put the sizes when we share the templates, mate. All the size dimensions in there.
And we all of us go and we all and everyone online, I know, in the training today, will all be ordering DL cards with their brochures and different things, or they have done over the years. I think most of us all get the option to add just listers, just solds, and things like that to our brochure orders with listings and things like that. So your DL are typically the ones that go inside a standard envelope and fit inside the letterbox. That's the thing that we're trying to get across, to get something that just fits easy.
Actually, you're right. It is A4.
A4, folded
it's
in
A4 trifold,
which is commonly known as DL.
Gotcha.
A3 is
A4,
the big
folks.
one.
Right. Nothing better than live training. We're not
A3,
always
A3 is the
perfectly
big
correct.
one. So I thought I
So,
might just pull you
so
up.
A4 trifob. Now, the reason I like A4 is number one, ABBY is my saying to all my agents I mentor and train. Always be branding you. So the first thing that they see when they pull this out of their letterbox is guess who? These guys. Now, I've got a geographical drone shot of my suburb. So try and link it into something that's local to that area, whether it's a park in the background, a nice walking trail. Make it relevant to that suburb. So this is an aerial shot via a drone of my area. I've just called it the Burton Lifestyle Report. That's the suburb that I service. Whatever you want to call it, that's up to you. But make sure your face is on the front because that's the first thing they see. Tony, I see some drops where the first thing you pull out is it's not catchy, it's not colorful, and there's no immediate, because keeping in mind your uptake on this is 1% at best. Someone's actually going to read it, right? So if they don't read it and put it in the bin, as Tony said earlier in the call, at least make sure you're seeing when they pull it out of the letterbox. Okay.
That
The
and,
other reason
that and your logo, which is the other thing that you might want to put in a prominent area. But I know that a lot of you are perhaps constrained by your franchises as to how you may market. So if that's you, you've got to work within that and do the best you can. Getting your photo on stuff is primary. Getting the logo, the corporate logo, is secondary to the picture of you. If you want this to be about your income.
I mean, I have our logo, but it's on the inside.
Yep. So, but for those that have to work within franchise constraints or getting your director to approve your printing and things like that, so be it. And for those that have got open slather like we do, just definitely getting your face on things. Our Christmas card that we sent out at Christmas had our face on the front of the card. It was a nice card, face on the side, but our face on the front of the card. So that's certainly the most primary place that you want to be branding yourself. As Chris says, always be branding you. Logos, all of that. Secondary, great, it's got to be there, addresses or whatever it might be for your office, but make sure your head's on the front if you possibly can do.
Spot on. Now, the reason I like trifold, folks, A4, just to clarify, is you got a front page, ABBY, right? On the back page, I always have a real estate page that's dedicated to property-specific stuff. So it's me talking to my community, giving them value-add stuff on what the talking point is for that month, whether it's interest rates, whether it's the forecast for the housing market locally into the new, whatever. It's a real estate segment that is you, okay? Then on the internal page, what I call the rear folding page, is I have what's called a dedicated finance page. Now, I'm sure many of us are connected with brokers, right? So ask your broker this question. Do you do a monthly newsletter to your database? More often they're going to say, of course I do. Can I be on that mailing list? Sure. So they'll send you the information, as my broker does, of what their talking point is financially for that month. So you're repurposing what they're giving you, right? You don't have to write this finance stuff. The other thing I'm going to point out is I QR code everything because I do a lot of video content. I keep it as least texty as possible. Couple of catchphrases, a heading, absolutely, an image, most certainly at the top of the page, but QR coding it back to where the content is, whether it's a landing page, a Gamma page, whether it's a video on your YouTube or your Facebook newsfeed, whatever it is. I'm going to show you this, right? I'm going to give you the template. Then on the inside is I put in there the previous month's sales. So the property address, the property attributes, and what it's sold for. And I have a little disclaimer there, Tony, because I know there's that, you didn't sell all those properties. No, I didn't. I put that little asterisk in there to disclose that we didn't sell these properties, and I highlight the ones we do. But it's giving people information and knowledge, because knowledge is power when people make property decisions, okay? And I also disclose in there that if you're exclusively working with an agent, please disregard this material if you've listed your home, okay? Now, there's another QR code over here that, again, links everybody to my digital Blink business card as well. We obviously have license number there for compliance reasons, absolutely. But I want to just point out that, people love this stuff because it's real estate specific, it's finance specific, and it's what's happened relative to their market and their property values in their area within the last 30 days. All righty. Any questions on that, Tony, the template itself?
No. So look, the one thing, if you can consistently do that 12 times a year,
Yeah.
that's going to get you a long way. I know people that have tried this. I know people try and do it every quarter, still can't pull it off. You can't do this without a system. So having a template, uh, where things just you know what's going to go on each one of those 6 panels in a DL. You need to know in advance what's going to go on there. Look, the beauty of things like ChatGPT, which we talked about in the past, to develop some content and that these days. But notice, Chris, it wasn't very wordy. So a lot of the words are going to be inside those QR codes to things like the Gamma business, the Burton suburb report or suburb information. And if you're not using that, go back to some of our training in the past. The other thing you mentioned was the QR code to the Blink. So Blink, or if you're using Linktree, but what this is a digital card. And if you're not using it, hell, if you're giving out your name, your phone number, and your email, and that's about it, you've got to get into Blink. I'm just looking at my Blink now on the other page. Yes, I've got phone numbers and emails. I've got a moving house checklist. I've got a magazine link. I've got a what is my home worth link, Facebook page link, website links, LinkedIn, all of the other socials for the company. So what it means is that one QR code gives that person 5, 10, 15 links to other information that you might want to share. Now, the analytical people are going to look at that, and a lot more people get analytical when it comes time to sell their home. They start to want to know information that they otherwise didn't in the past. So go back and look at our Blink training session that we did some time ago. They're all on our EXP YouTube page.
Yeah, cool. Do you want to share your Blink? I've just shared my Blink business card in the chat, both on YouTube and in the webinar here. Folks, if you got any questions, put them in the webinar chat box or on our YouTube page. So Tony, I do 1,500 of those a month, right? Every month. Now, for me to get that printed, it's $419, printed, delivered to my house, okay? Then what I do, so now we've distinguished our core area with turnover. We've monitored whose agents are in that area, and we're keeping it to around 1,000, 1,500 homes. We got the template, which Chris is going to share and give everybody today on our EXP Realty Facebook page, right? Then you got to get it out there, right? How do we get it out? And I'm going to show you that in a moment. So, firstly, I employ locally, and it's been the greatest success of my business by engaging local families with kids. The ideal audience, and I'm going to show you an advertisement of how you can advertise that you need a letterbox dropper creatively in a moment. I'm going to show that to you and share that. But ever since I've been doing this, I've employed a number of local families that have been with me for many years that have kids between the age of 12 and 17 that want money, but they can't work as a PAYG because they can't get a TFN until that legal age, whatever that is, 16, I think it is, right? Now, I remunerate my letterbox droppers more than what they would get if they went to Salmat of the Lights and dropped all the junk mail, because they are very cheap. So I pay them more. In fact, I've had kids come and join me from Salmat because I pay them more and they get the job done, right? So reward your letterbox droppers. You'll get what you pay for. If you want cheap, nasty, it could end up in the bin at your local shopping center. I give my letterbox droppers $200 every month for 1,500 homes. 1,500 of these be dropped. The other thing that I do is I give them a bonus structure. So for every listing that I get in my core farm area, it doesn't matter how it comes in, whether it's from me databasing, a meta ad, whatever, every listing that I get that sells in my core area, I give them a $20 little bonus, right? So it's a little skin in the game incentive to make sure these are going out. And kids get excited about it, Tony. I don't know how many kids making $200 a month that are 12, 13, 14, 15. Like my letterbox dropper last month, I had 2 sales in my suburb. So they made $240 for 1 month, and they're 14 years of age. It's pretty good coin. They've got it down now, Pat, that they can do my whole area within 6 hours within the 30-day period. I don't care when it goes out, as long as it's done each and every month within the 4-monthly cycle of these being printed out for the next month. Okay.
Fantastic.
So go local.
Again, and we've talked about several things in these training sessions. You know, Chris has spent 200 and maybe 20 or 40, depending what happened with sales, but $200 a month. How much is the printing, Chris?
$419 delivered to my door for 1,500 of these.
Yep. So there's.
Now you might get cheaper. I don't know.
$600, $150 a week. all of these things, and Gamma if you're on Pro, and different things that are Pro or an increased level. This is investment in business. It's all tax deductible. But if you're, heading out on January 1 into the wide world of building a real estate business every year, you need to make a decision as to how, July 1 as it were, as to how much money you're going to invest in marketing you. A lot of this may well be, in vendor paid advertising sometimes, but in marketing you, it's incredibly important. And I think that, to make a decision at the start of the year and spread that marketing through the year as to what you're going to do. If it's letterbox drops like Chris is doing, get the budget for the year, pay the printer, whatever you do, don't let it drop off if that's the thing you've decided to do. And if you do it 1, 2, 3 times a report like that and you don't get a call, keep doing it. You can't drop these things after 1 or 2 times. If it is, it's not going to work. And you're not going to get to the next Jan 1 with an increased business.
Well, my first listing when I've started this came 15 months after investment of doing it. And I was about to give up. I was on the cusp. And my agents I've had, like, I'm 12 months in, it's not working. And then 6 months later, boom, it happens, right? So let's just say I get these $419 a month plus the $200. It's $2,819, right? Just baseline for me. Now, I've paid the performance, so for the homes that I've sold. So last year, I invested in my letterbox droppers with the increased $20 per transaction in the area. But all up, it cost me under $5,000. Okay, all up. Now, $5,000's a fair chunk of change, absolutely. But as I mentioned at the beginning, $119,000 I pulled out of this postcode last year. So
$5,000 investment, $119,000 return.
GCI.
Yeah. Are we going to add the meta ads and things that he's done? Yeah, absolutely. So, even if that was $10,000, and it would matter, it wouldn't be. But even if it was 10,000, would you pay 10,000 to get 120 back? That's the question.
One listing pays for itself, and then you're ahead there afterwards every month, every year. The other thing that I love about employing locally is you're engaging local families in your community that actually become your raving fans, okay? So because I've helped out their kids generate some income, and they can buy the PS5 or the new Xbox or whatever the new flash toys are these days that kids want, but they then will refer clients to you. So I've had the mums and dads of the kids that do the letterbox dropping for me in my area refer me to their friends and family that they know that live in the area. In fact, some mums and dads that have had their kids work for me that have moved out of the area, guess who they've come back through to when it comes time to selling? Me. Right, so that's happened. Now I'm going to share with you some of this visually now. So I'm going to share my screen, folks, because we've done a lot of talking, but let me just bring up. Where are we? Okay, let me just. All right, can you see my screen there, Tony?
Do. Yep.
Cool. So what you'll see here, folks, is, let me just go to my business page. Oh, there it is there. Okay. So this is the advertisement that I did, right? And I don't know if you remember the old Paperboy game. I used to play it as a kid. I loved it, right? It's cool. It's creative. It stands out. It's colorful. As you know from previous sessions, I'm a bit out the box when it comes to marketing. But this is the campaign I run each and every time I need a letterbox dropper. Now, fortunately, I've only needed to replace my letterbox droppers every 3-4 years because they've got an apprenticeship, a traineeship, or whatever. They just get to that age. And thanks, Chris, it's been a great ride. So you're not going to have them forever, right? So you will have to re-attract and re-recruit to replace. But essentially, it's a promotion that's a cash incentive offer. Can you help me in the process? We locally help each other. I'm in need of a regular monthly letterbox dropper. So I break down exactly the history of where we've come from, what it is that you have to do, okay? Can be completed in a 4-week period, flat land, no hills. I'm fortunate in that regard. So sorry if you're in a hilly area, you might have to compensate your letterbox droppers for that. We deliver the letterboxes to you. There's no folding pamphlets delivered ready to you, which is good for those SOWMAP people because they get paid less and they have to fold everything, then deliver it as well. I do a $200 cash payment immediately on completion, whether that be to a Visa debit card, a nominated bank account. There's that $20 per listing bonus on every listing in the suburb. And yeah, so I break it down. When you get it right, you can get this down. The first 2 or 3 letterbox drops takes them the longest, but once they work out the area, I generally break it down to 4 areas. So they can do one area one week, the next area the second week, third, fourth. You can, after about 3 drops, get it down to about 7 hours a month. So if you work out on the baseline of $200 for 1,500 drops at 7 hours of work, $28.50 is the hourly rate for someone who's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 of the likes. Obviously, there's a lot of perks too with being outside. So that's the advertisement that I use time and time again. And what it does, I put it on all my socials first. I do meta ad campaigns targeting my postcode. And I have a lot of families that reach out to me. They'll DM me directly. Hey, Chris, I've seen your advertisement. Vicky, my daughter's 15, would like to earn some extra cash. Can we talk about it further? So every time I've done this, it's like multiple offers, Tony. I haven't had one application. I've had multiple applications and family come forward, which is cool. It's a great position to be in. Now, some families have been external as well, not necessarily in that suburb, but I always try and preference those families that are residing in the suburb that I'm doing these drops in. Okay. So I'm going to share that on our EXP Realty Australia Facebook page so you can replicate it. You can jump on my own Facebook page and see it all there. But that works every time. It gets attention. Then obviously, a lot of the stuff I'm going to share with you today in the template is here in Canva. So again, we've ran sessions on Canva before. Fortunately, with EXP Realty, we get Canva Pro included in our subscription with the model. But this is where I create the front page. There is the rear page. That's the real estate specific. And there is the, sometimes I'll put a finance section in here. I did it this month, but that will be the finance page. But I did a feature article on the future of home selling in South Australia. Now, you'll see, folks, if any of the consumers in my suburb were to scan this QR code, and again, a lot of my emphasis with letterbox drops, Tony, is put something out that's value adding with zero expectations in return, right? So I burn that $419 a month as it's in money that I don't even expect to ever get a return on. Okay. But what I'm putting out there is relevant. So last month I put out there the Adelaide housing market forecast, QR coded it, and if you QR code it, it takes it to that Gamma app landing page that we've done a previous session on that talks about our local forecast for this year. Because as we know, Tony, every year when we come back off Christmas and the festive period, everyone's question is, how's the market bouncing back? What do you think the market's going to do this year? So rather than wait for those questions, just deliver the people the information so they can read it and go, you know what, this guy's actually quite knowledgeable and he's delivered it to me without me even having to pick up the phone and speak to a real estate agent. So it links back to all the previous sessions we've done from doing this digitally online, running meta ads, lead generation to now replicating the same into letterboxes. Okay.
To answer Chris Wade's question, assuming you pay the delivery kids cash, how do you record that for tax purposes? You can't claim cash payments on tax. That's the way it is. But your alternative is to maybe go and do it yourself. But this is Chris's system, and for those payments to the kids, no, they're a non-claimable item.
Two ways around that, mate. You can get them to invoice you. I found that quite problematic because not everyone's set up to do invoicing. You can create invoices in Canva right now. I mean, I've got invoice templates in here. I actually create the invoice on their behalf to me so I can keep something on file that I can say that I've dispersed this money to this bank account, to this name as the entity on this date of the invoice, so that I can give that to my account. And I've just found that's easier because they don't have to create the invoice. I'm doing it on their behalf for them.
There you go, Wade. So there's a way where you are able to claim it, but yeah, certainly up to you to speak to your accountant. Not here to give tax advice.
The other way around that too, Wayne, is you can go out and do Visa prepaid gift cards. So you can head down to Woolies each time they've done the drop, pay the $200 to get the Visa prepaid card, keep the receipt for that, go out and deliver them that Visa prepaid card. They can spend Visa wherever Visa is acceptable, and you've got that little receipt, my friend. So that's another way around it that I've done before too.
That's another way to use for client gifts and things. Use Visa gift cards for client gift. Might be a $50 Woolies voucher or whatever it might be as a gift if that's appropriate in your market. But those types of things are tax deductible.
So I'm going to share these templates The future of home selling. Again, I just replaced the finance article on last month because I did a feature lead generation ad on this as well, which again just takes them to another landing page that AI created and built for me around the future of marketing and real estate and selling homes in South Australia into 2025. But that page, I'd normally have my broker article, but because he was still on holidays in January, well, I didn't get a newsletter from him, Tony, so I had to make something up real quickly, creatively. Then obviously, this is what the lead generation ads look like. So this is my Meta ad account. So that one there of the Adelaide housing forecast, that was my real estate article, my letterbox drops last month. There's the landing page for it. Right? See the synergies, the color, the background. See how it's all matching? Yeah? See the colors, the image, all the same. It looks the same, whether it's in the letterbox, to the landing page, to now the Meta ad. See, it all looks the same. So there's continuity between them seeing you on Meta ads, lead generation forms, through to landing pages, through to in their letterbox as well. So I'm going to share those templates, folks, but that in a nutshell is all that I do each and every, I mean, I do other stuff as well. Where's my stop share gone? There we go. We're back. But that there religiously 10 years I've been doing, and it's good for 100 to 150K GCI each and every year. And I love it when I walk into a lounge room and there's like 6 of these on their dining table that are sitting there that they've kept as a little collection over time. You know, you've got your community reports right when they're retaining and keeping them, and you get invited in.
Just another little thing. There's a million little things, but you've got to pick the ones that really sit for you best in your marketplace. That's an easy one. You know, once you've got the templates, you know, you might spend a half an hour a month on putting the data in there with the sold information or something like that. You know, you're going down the printer, you've got them, you've got the kids around to give them the bundle. So that, you know, you might have spent an hour. That's the goal, is to maybe put an hour to it each month. So the important things to, you know, with all of these sessions, it's to implement. You know, you've got the Canva links, you've got the scripts, you've got the text and everything. It's now to implement. You know, jump in the car today, go down to the local printer and just ask how much would it cost. Going back to the very start, think about what Chris said about the size you do. We get sucked into, oh, I'll do 3,000, I'll do 5,000, they'll give me more listings. It not only does it become a lot more costly, you can't cover that size area consistently. It's just too big. Shrink back. I've worked a lot of my career in a marketplace that had 3,000 homes, and I had 5 people in our office, and there were competitors and everything. We got a lot of business out of 3,000 homes, and that was the whole office and competitors' offices. We all did well. Okay, so you don't need 5, 10, 50,000. I know some of you look at your municipalities and you go, oh, 50,000 home, you know, that's just going to be great. Don't go that big. You know, go in concentric circles out from your home. You know, 100 meters, 500 meters, a kilometre, you'll find that you've got enough within just a few k's of your home or a suburb, as Chris has picked out. And, you know, your listings then won't be limited to that, because the message will spread wider than that, and you'll get, you know, listings from other ways. But that's certainly one way to, you know, be thorough and saturate a neighbourhood that will get you a reputation that's going to turn into leads.
Yeah, and look, this is how simple it is. Like, again, I'll just share my screen really quickly, Tony. So, you know, if let's say once you got the template set up, folks, so you can see the Burton drop there, Tony. Yep. So the template, the front page never changes. The only thing you're changing in is this image, right? Each month. And then whatever your topic is for that month, right? And again, ChatGPT will put a lot of this text together for you. But let's say you've just got everything in there ready. I think someone mentioned there's a QR code creator in Canva, which I'm not familiar with. I haven't used myself, Tony. I'm not too sure if you're up to par with that, but I use this one here. I use QR code generator because it doesn't expire. And it's literally grab the URL of the site that I want to create a QR code for. That's it there. I go to download. Right, in my downloads now. So if I go into Canva, I go into upload a file. I go to my downloads. There's a QR, right? Loading into Canva, and I can drop it. And that can be linked to anything. A URL from...
Can I just say, and I've not used the QR, but here live, and we'll take our risk, go and press the share button up the top. Go down to see all, bottom right. QR code.
There you go.
Okay, so there is that's the QR code generator. I've not tried it. I just clicked it on my other screen. So there's a QR code generator that I don't quite know, but for those of you that might be using that, that's where it's hiding. But I'll look into that a little bit more for next time.
Yeah, but well, you can run a Canvas session, mate. You're getting good at it. But you can see I just drag and drop, right? And the QR code's in there, good to go, right? But let's say the template's ready to go, okay? So all I'm doing literally is downloading. You want it for print, right? So go best for printing is what I always go. This is great if you need a smaller size to send on email, but PDF print. It's going to download it. We'll give it a minute. And that's what it looks like. So that now is ready to send to my printer in a PDF version, and it's high quality. And then what will happen is when you send it, I then attach, mate, the previous month's RP Data Core Logic report. Can you see that now, mate? I've dragged in another. Yep. You can see the PDF report.
Yeah.
Cool. So you can see that RP Data report now.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I'm just attaching the previous month's sales, right? That in a PDF with the PDF of my letterbox drop. And literally, I email my letterbox dropper, Gianni, from Colorbox, the same template every month. And that is, guess what, mate? It's that time of the month again. Here's my attachments. Here's a sold report. And then what he does, and your printer will do, I'd say likely for you, is send you a proof.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the finished product looks like. So you can proof it and approve it. And literally, it takes me, mate, now that I've got the template set up, it's probably 30 minutes of putting it together. And then it gets delivered to my house within a couple of days, and then out to my letterbox droppers. I drop it out to them because I like to say g'day to them. And if they've got a little bonus, you know, sometimes I'll give them the $40 Visa debit card as a little bonus. So well done, 2 listings last month in Burton at this address, that address. You know, awesome. Be personal. Talk to your people. It's like having employees.
Yep, awesome.
That's it from me, mate, from BDA Farm Core Area Reports.
That's it from us for a little while. We are looking at a little bit different style and format of training, which we'll research over the next couple of months. We hope to see you back. You'll see it on the socials, whatever it is we're doing. But we are committed to doing industry-wide training with as much valuable content as we can outside of our own company as well as within our own company as we do, to just give as much value as we can out there to our colleagues and comrades in real estate.
Yeah, and if you head over, give it till about lunchtime, folks, but if you head over to our Facebook page, eXp Realty Australia, look us up on Facebook. I'll drop all the templates there so you can download. I'll put the Canva links as well. We'll put the shareable Canva links so you can all replicate. And as I say, Tony, most importantly, implement. Thanks for joining us on this Business by Design. Hopefully we see you at GrowCon, folks, and we'll catch you on the flip side of our GrowCon event for